Hey everybody, Carly here from the Habit Ayurvedic Wellness, and today I want to talk about core values. Now you might be asking, what the heck does a core value have to do with Ayurveda? And the short answer is absolutely everything. So when we learn about anything, when we try to implement any kind of health and wellness routine in our lives, we want to do so from a place of alignment with what we really give a hoot about in this life. I can't believe I just said give a hoot. But doesn't matter how you say it. The point is, you want to be taking aligned action. And how do we take aligned action? When we have to first understand and be able to clearly say, the things that really light us up in this world, the things that we really care about in this life. And when you can filter those things that you really care about, that you want to prioritize, that you would specify in terms of what a life well lived would look like, you filter those things down into a single word. Or when it comes to the work that we do in the Everyday Ayurveda program, we narrow it down to five core values. These are single words that really point us in the direction of who we want to be, how we want to show up in this life. When we're clear on those 5 words, then it's a whole lot easier to make decisions on which things we're going to implement, whether it's a new morning routine or a new exercise practice or a new form of meal planning or a new job opportunity or deciding to be in a relationship with somebody or deciding to go on to a certain place on vacation. It is super helpful to understand, who you want to be to help you make these decisions. So we've just gone through this practice for all of my new members in the Everyday Ayurveda course. When you enroll, you get an opportunity to really dial in these 5 core values. And it looks like this. It looks like going through a practice of first leaning into all of the times in the past few years, and you could say just in the past year if you've had a lot of changes in the past year, or even over a lifetime if you wanted to really step back and think about your dharma, your reason for being here in this life. We lean back into the past and think about all of the times that we were really happy. And you can write down 2 to 4 examples for this practice, that at times that you felt like you were just full of joy. And it's easy for us to default to writing about like when I did this really cool thing at work or when I had this accomplishment, and we'll get into that in a second. But for this question, what I want to know, like Ayurveda works, the works are very complementary to the experiences that you have when you're learning about Tantra. Tantra is the teachings of experiencing pleasure, deep pleasure in life, in all of our experiences in life. It's not just about sex. It is about that deep sexual pleasure. And it's also about just really falling in love with your life experience. So we want to think about just when we feel really happy. So when you're making this list, you want to ask yourself, like, I don't know, a good example is last year I took my family, we went to Toronto, and we left our kids, my husband and I left our kids behind, and we went to Canada's Wonderland, just the 2 of us. It's like this huge amusement park, and went on all the roller coasters. We even bought like a speed pass so we could bypass the lines. And I was so happy. That was true happiness, extreme pleasure for me. So a few times when you felt the most happy. And then the second question to ask yourself is a couple of times, 2 to 4 experiences when you have felt the most proud of yourself. Now, I've mentioned this before and I'll say it again. Ayurveda is a like a physiological science. You get to learn about your body's structure and how you can leverage the functions of your body to feel better in your days and feel more clarity in your mind and to get after those goals in your life. And so what we were talking about in class today was they've done studies on our posture in relation to our sense of pride and our sense of confidence in our lives. So when you ask yourself, what are a few times that I felt really proud of myself? I want you to roll your shoulders back and open up your heart. And this is always fascinating to me, how when we talk about yoga and Ayurveda and Buddhism, we talk about these heart-opening practices. Now, the studies that they've done have nothing to do with Ayurveda and yoga, but what they show is they studied a bunch of people before going into job interviews. They had half of this study group sort of slouch and roll their shoulders forward and kind of have their heads down a little bit. This would be a closed heart posture. And then they had the other group roll their shoulders back and even take more of a confident stance, like this like superhero stance. And the people who open their hearts, they receive more oxygen to their whole bodies, and they generally just felt more confident. They had a better posture and they had more confidence in their job interview. Isn't that fascinating? Like, you can just slightly change your posture and you'll feel better. So chances are, if we can't think of too many things that make us feel really proud of ourselves, and some of them can be really small things. Like, I feel really proud of myself that I have a really great routine of getting the kids' laundry done every week. That just really fills me up for some reason. So, tap into those things by rolling your shoulders back, placing a smile on your face, and thinking to yourself, what has made me feel proud, like I'm stepping into, again, that dharma, that reason for existence, why you're here, the true potential for your life. And then from there, you can ask yourself the third question, which is, now I forget about it because I got sidetracked in my head. So we think about the times that we were happy in our life, the times that we've been proud in our life, and then a few instances in your life where you have felt comforted and satisfied. That's a really good word for it. Really deeply satisfied with your life experience. Again, we want to experience all of life's pleasures, and it's different for one person than it is for another. In my Ayurveda teachings, we learn a lot about making space for the human body to relax, to step the nervous system out of fight or flight, and to trigger melatonin release, the sleep hormone release, so that we can get a restful sleep at night. And sometimes what can hinder that is staring at our screens in the evenings. So I often recommend to my clients and my course members that they take it easy on the television watching in the evenings. But, and I want you to hear this, because if you are someone who absolutely adores sitting on the couch, getting cozy in the blankets, having your cup of herbal tea, and sitting with your honey or with your family member or with your cat on your lap and watching an episode of your favorite TV show, if that makes you feel really satisfied, and it does for some people, then I want you to honor that. I want you to honor that as something that you value, because that's you showing up in the full expression of your life. And that I want everybody to feel okay with that. Everybody has different values. That's why this practice is so wonderful. So then what you can do is take a look. You can Google online. I can try and share an image here in the comments, perhaps, a list of core values. And it's such a great way to keep us dialed in a way that we can remember, right? So you want to take that list, go through the list of core values. These are just like one word here, one word there, examples of words that we can use. So people sometimes value organization. They sometimes value creativity, sometimes value freedom, energy, happiness, generosity, gratitude. Everybody has somewhat different values. Community, transparency, accountability. There's a ton of them. I think I have a list of 120. So you take a look at this list and you check off 10 of them that you feel really resonate with, like how you want to show up in your days. If you were to show up aligned with these 10 things, then you'd be doing a fabulous job in your day. And then I want you to take those 10 and chop it down to 5, because I can't remember 10 words, and I want everybody to make sure that they're remembering that you can recall this when it comes time to make those bigger decisions in your life. Do I want to sign up for this course? Do I want to go on this vacation? Do I want to do this speaking event? Do I want to go to this party? Like, everything that you do, every purchase that you make, do I want to buy this bag of chips? Do I want to buy this treadmill? You can decide based on your values whether it's actually in alignment with who you want to be. Such an easy way for us to make aligned choices and set aligned goals for ourselves. So you take your 5 words and you put them up somewhere. You write them down, you make a list of them and put them on your mirror and put them on your computer screen and put them on the screensaver on your phone until such time as you remember and it becomes a default action that you check in with those things regularly. Because remember, you decided on these things from a place of happiness and from a place of pride in yourself and from a place of comfort and satisfaction. You were feeling all that energy when you chose these 5 words. And so they hold a lot of value to you. These are your core values. Now I'll show you an example of what I've done. Right here next to my desk, I have a sign. Fun, creativity, growth, simplicity, community. This pretty much sums up everything that I do in my business. I always want to make sure that people are absolutely delighted with their experience. We have a lot of fun in my courses. I always want to be creative, trying different things, having different challenges. I want us all to have a growth mindset, make sure that we're being positive and forward thinking. And the sense of community is just like no other. We have like 85% higher chance of reaching our goals when we do things as a community versus when we go it alone. So community is a big thing for me and in my growth. And of course, simplicity. I think simple is the word that I say the most often in my business because we have enough chaos going on. I want to make sure that everybody can adopt whole body well-being in a way that feels simple and doable and actionable. And we always start by identifying our 5 core values because that's going to make decision-making process a whole lot easier. That's what core values have to do with Ayurveda. I would love to hear from you. Hop into the comments. Tell me what your 5 core values are and what that means for you in your life, how you exemplify those core values in your everyday life, or what your plans are for 2020 to help yourself show up. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day.